Welcome everyone. Adam TheDailyWoo here as the recording of this Monday, January 27, 2025. I am going to be having a day in Camden, Greater London area, a section of London, music history, some movie history, some architectural marvels dating back farther than I have ever even been on this planet. I'm inviting you to join me. Let's have a Camden day, shall you? This is Denmark Street, also nicknamed Tin Pan Alley. In fact, there's a little marker there on the side of the wall. And there's a lot of music history. Rolling Stones recorded here. Elton John wrote My Song here on this road. A little punk rock history. Sex Pistols lived right down there between Regency Sound and a record store, guitar store right there. In fact, I think it was right up top right there. The Pistols resided in back at the beginning of their very short and illustrious, if you want to call that, career. This is just really a mecca, this little tiny block of Denmark Street, Tin Pan Alley. Putting the washboard out there at number 9, evidently David Bowie first put together his original backing band, and they met right in a little cafe right there. You see number 5 there. Joe electric guitars and bass. Regency Sound right there recording. It has the little tongue and the mouthpiece from the Stones. Yeah, I love the Stones. Been following them for years. Fred and Barney. So old Stephen Wright joke. It's classic, just classic. Evidently, oh, look at this up here. It says Stairway to Heaven. It's like an old neon sign, but the neon's off. So evidently number 6 is where Johnny Rotten and his crew lived. And evidently for a while, and possibly still up there, some of Johnny's scribblings on the side of the wall still remain up top there. I gotta find number 20, which is where Elton wrote Your Song, came up with the lyrics for Your Song. Still a mecca of music. In fact, down here, there's a little old school flyer on the side of the wall saying, musicians required. This is the old way of doing it. You know, back in the day with bands, flyering and stuff, I used to do that when I was in a band as well. Obviously, that was way after the early era of punk rock. That was, you know, early 2000s, way after all this took place, but we were still flyering too. Flyer right here says, wishing the Rolling Stones best success with their new record, Not Fade Away. Produced in their studio, Regency Sound Studios 4, Denmark Street. That is really, really dang cool. Wanted to, you could buy a Les Paul right in here as well, right above. There's probably some very interesting things transferred. Those walls up there inside could talk. Just love these buildings, just the style of them. It's like just like a music row, if you will. So the Lawrence Wright Music Company is no longer there, but you see the scribblings of the lettering below it there on the other side of the street. About Elton the other day, changing the words around and honoring Princess Diana at Westminster Abbey, doing Candle in the Wind, but also another huge song for him, Your Song, evidently was written right here next to number 19, at number 20, up there. The lyrics, anyway. Down to the Tottenham Court Road station. I'll take the tube. Northern Line, about 3-4 stops up is where I'm going to the heart of Camden. That was just kind of the cusp of Camden. Well, I'm gonna have to mind the gap once again. Not much of a gap on this one, though. Some of the other platforms have more of a gap.
Or text British Transport Police on 61016 and we'll get it sorted.
get off of the tube, the active phone box, one of the newer phone boxes. Different style. Active phone in there. All right, this is Camden. Again, the kind of the forefront of it when I was over on Tin Pan Alley. A little bit of a dreary day today, another dreary day, at least it's not raining. An interesting fact about this place here, the Cocoa. There's a lot of birds up on that. That is Napoleon III. A lot of pigeons. Didn't see any pigeons over at the Cathedral for Mary Poppins, but definitely a lot of pigeons here in Camden. Oh, goodness. Hitchcock would be proud. I think those birds know that woman. I think that might be a bird lady. That's the Feed the Birds lady. Right, this is one of this is making my day right here. This is literally making my day right here. Two movies I really like have a Feeding the Birds lady. Home Alone 2, obviously, and Mary Poppins. Man, that is so cool. She's so nice to the birds. To the Cocoa, tons of famous artists have played here. Of course, Elton John, Lady Gaga, but also a very famous pop star by the name of Madonna played her first UK gig here in 1983. And she returned in the early 2000s to play another one, but her first time performing in the UK was right here. Classic era Madonna. This is also the stomping grounds of Amy Winehouse. There's going to be a lot of Amy Winehouse stuff as well. And I will be completely honest, I'm not super familiar with Amy Winehouse. I know a couple of the hit songs, and obviously I know she passed away early in life, but she's from here. All right, heading up now through this gate to an old church that is affectionately called the St. Pancras Old Church. That is the name. Where a few very pivotal pieces of history can be traced back to here over in the cemetery. Also, the church is open, so we might pop in there in a second. And the gate is unlocked and open, so we're going to walk in. So some say that the reason, part of the inspiration that Frankenstein, the book by Mary Shelley, was written was because of all her visits to see her mother, who passed away giving birth to her, who was laid to rest here. You never know if stuff like that is completely true, but it is interesting to think about that Mary would show up here to see her mother, also named Mary, and pay her respects. It's also said that her and her husband, where she got the last name Shelley from, started courting and dating here in London, and they would frequent this cemetery together as well. That is a very interesting tree, something you just see like in a Tim Burton film. Very little knots and twisty sections there. While looking for Mary Shelley's mother headstone, evidently this was a famous architect, has a massive footprint here next to the church. And it is said, again, hearsay, but I can see it now that I see this with my own eyes. I saw photos of it, but seeing it with my own eyes, it definitely makes a lot more sense. The person who created the telephone box, like the payphone boxes here in England, is said to have got his inspiration for the style of it from this. And now seeing it, it kind of makes sense. It kind of looks, it's not red, but it kind of has that same stylistic design. Look at the little either chapel over there, an office over there behind it. That is impressive. There's a little staircase down to the crypt. Wow. It's very muddy, but I believe this might be it. Looks like people have placed different items on top of it. Try to get over there without getting too much muddiness on my feet, but might be impossible. All right, with the train going by, Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin. And Mary Shelley was the first and middle name, took her mother's middle name, maiden name I guess it would be. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. So you just think about the author of Frankenstein, creator of Frankenstein's monster that has become this massive franchise, Universal Monster. Said to have been inspired by her visiting her mom here and seeing this headstone, paying her respects to her mother who passed away during childbirth. That is really something else. That really is really cool. In fact, it's really hard to make out what the rest of it says below the name, the birth dates, and all that. Definitely hard to read. Weather has taken its toll on there. Weather worn over the years. Dare I say my favorite Universal monster? I mean, it's hard to pick because there's, you got Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, Creature, Black Lagoon. But I think, for me, Frankenstein might be the number one. It's tough to pick a favorite, but yeah, come on. So you got the telephone box there. I was just sitting, commiserating, contemplating. You just think if Mary Shelley's mother hadn't existed, she hadn't given birth to Mary Shelley, we wouldn't have Frankenstein. Probably wouldn't be as popular as a franchise, Universal Monsters. I mean, Dracula, I guess, would be the next biggest one. But I always think about stuff like that when I think of timelines of things. Or if Mary Shelley hadn't been here in London and met her husband. There's even things I was reading online that they evidently consummated their relationship here in this graveyard. I don't know, that could be a far-fetched, but there's an image for you. Now I am wearing an appropriate beanie because I went to Abbey Road the other day. A little more of a Beatles nod. In this same property, the Beatles, when they were recording their White Album, they went on a little bit of a rampage with a photographer taking multiple photos all around this neighborhood. One of the most famous ones was right here, and that photo shoot is now referred to as the Beatles' Mad Day Out. And I believe this bench is placed here in homage to the Fab Four, having their moment. Donated by caring neighbor Ted Baker because he loves this park. Okay, the information I was seeing was wrong. I don't see anything about the Beatles on it. Oh wait, yes it is. Here we go, look at this. John, Paul, George, and Ringo from the Beatles pop group sat here during their Mad Day Out, Sunday, the 28th of July, 1968. Now, I do not believe the bench was here. That was placed here later by this gentleman who loves this park. But the photo of them sitting here was right here on the ground. The Fab Four. Just relaxing underneath this little sculpture. Right there, they were sitting next to a sign. They were rule breakers. Look at this. Please keep off the grass. Way before the Sex Pistols were breaking rules around here. The Beatles, and they did not want to be told what to do, sitting right there in the grass at the base of this little thing. All right, walking over a little canal here. It's raining for a little bit, but the rain has kind of subsided. It's just like drizzling a little bit, still a little dreary, but No longer getting rained on too hard. A little mist in the air. Right here along this canal. Now that I said that, it's started to pick up again. There's a sailboat. Oh, it's not a sailboat. It's a piece of art. That was a sailboat. These boats are very interesting here. It says Bark Donkey Gasworks. And that one right there. Very interesting boats. It's interesting. The canal here has a little waterfall here, a little dam, block and dam of sorts. Got some wildlife swimming around the top of them. Some ducks over there. Construction over there, some condos, new construction, buildings that have been there for a little while. Hello, ducks. Through here. So evidently people live in these boats. These are like houseboats. Stretch all along the little river here. Pay a docking fee and then you just camp out here on the water. I see that said the weather wasn't going to be that bad. It's gotten really nasty. This is interesting. It's like this little kind of overhang here. It says Something Elm Village, date stamp 1983. Also, Allison's here again today, local to the area. Show me a couple things as well. 1983. She's smart though. She's standing out of the rain and started writing again. Going in the water, geese? They are. Splash down. This is Gomez Boat Studio. It says on the side there. Yeah, remind me never to say, oh, the weather's clearing up, because now it's gotten way worse. We're on Camden Road. Old Eagle. Like this mural. Whew. Gusty. Gusty. Oh yeah. UK classic car alert. I think it might be the first classic car alert I've done here. So evidently there used to be a Banksy mural right here that has been painted over. Someone has painted over Banksy. It was the TOX Banksy mural. Gone now. You think that's where it was there with the spray paint over it?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess the Camden town does not want that painted there. Yeah, there it was. Now it's been erased from existence. The area known as Castle Haven is a building here with a mural. Right there it has Castle Haven written across it. It has a piano keyboard on the side of it. I made it over to the Hawley Arms, Hawle Arms. This pub here was where the stomping grounds of Amy Winehouse. She was seen here many, many times. It was kind of a place she'd always be seen fraternizing, meeting up with friends, drinking a couple brewskis, I'm guessing. I don't know if she was a drinker or not. Just kind of assuming that. It's even said that she was even a bartender here for a short while. And they have quite a bit of stuff relating to her, the outside and inside. Stomping grounds of Amy Winehouse. Here in Camden, UK. So there's definitely a lot of photos of Amy in front of this place. There's a couple of her walking in. There's a few of her behind the bar, inside. And evidently there is a mural around back. Gotta go check out as well. And this place became famous from a TV show. Probably more famous than the Winehouse stuff recently. What was the name of the show?
baby reindeer.
Baby reindeer. And they filmed inside of here. I've never seen the show, but I guess it was like a big UK show. Could have been a big US show too. I'm not familiar with new TV shows, but. Why was it called Baby Reindeer?
So it was about this guy who worked here. It was about his stalker, and the stalker used to call him her little baby reindeer.
Ah.
So that's what they called the show. But yeah, he worked here, and so.
That's a good sized mural. It's right around the back here of the Hawley Arms. Hawley Arms?
Hawley.
Hawley.
The Hawley Arms.
The Hawley Arms. I'm getting that. Not really, but. All right, now we're getting into the real Camden. I feel like this is the nitty gritty of it over here. I want to find a record store, so I want to get a couple albums. The craziest golf club in the world. Over there. Oh, I hear the train going by. Why is this called the craziest golf club in the world? Asking you shall receive. Here is the Camden Lock vinyl right here. Look at these old 7 inches of Skid Row, Elvis Presley. All right, I did get one album that I was looking for. I sold one other one. The owner of that record store was awesome. He goes, I'm an old punk. Older gentleman. Very familiar with music. Ended up getting one here, which hopefully I'll break out when I get to the spot. There's one more that I want to get, but I don't know. I might have trouble finding it. Pretty sure there's probably more record stores down this way. Definitely looks like a real popular spot here in Camden. This is like the main tourist, well, not tourist, but the main shopping district, I should say. There are tourists, but I'm sure quite a few locals as well. And I found another record store. They did not have it. They did have a pretty good variety of Clash stuff, but they did not have the album I'm looking for, which the very first Clash album was filmed in this general area. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to match it up. I might have trouble finding because this is the first one. It's a little more obscure than like London Calling and some of the other ones. But there's another one up here on the top floor, right over here. So I'm going to check inside here. Not having any luck. Looking for the Clash's first album, which is filmed on the staircase next to the Camden Market. That'd be kind of cool to meet up, to match it up like I did with Abbey Road. I bought the Abbey Road album for the Beatles at Abbey Road. Thought it'd be neat to get the first Clash album. I did the same thing with Green Day Kerplunk when I was out in California, in Berkeley area. Kind of like buying albums that pertain to the certain area where they took place, or resonated in that kind of general vicinity. That way later in life when I listen to those albums, I can think, oh, was that those spots? But I'm not gonna have luck with the first Clash album, I don't think. There's another Amy mural here. Well, that's interesting. So her skin is made up of different words. Gonna head now over through another entrance into the market. London ambulance going by. Here is the Amy sculpture right here on the, I guess it'd be the second level up over here at the Camden Market. She has a little heart necklace on, or someone has placed a heart around her right there on the necklace there. It has a little some lipstick has been placed on there too. Yep. A lot of people around getting photos of it. So over near the market are these steps, and I was trying to find the album. The very, very first Clash album of the three of them up on the staircase was right here in Camden. No luck finding the album. Obviously I could just order the album anywhere or get any other record shop at another time, but it would have been kind of neat to stand there on the steps with the album. The staircase is still here, and they have identified it with a little writing up and down the stairs too, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice to see. It's right next to Coyote Ugly Bar, which is kind of interesting too. The area has definitely changed since they took the original photo, but that's the album cover right there, what it looked like back in the day. All right, got to carry on. Got to go over to a spot where classic touch-tone picture film was animated. finally picking up this little corridor through here. We got quite a bit of gustiness of wind. There's a ghost sign up top there, a little boot sign there. All right, got to cross over. Got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Got it. All right, walking over to the spot where some animation from one of my favorite movies was filmed. Passed by another, this is a punk record shop called All Age Records, established 2003. It's been around for 22 years. And they had a pretty good assortment of stuff in there. I could have bought a lot of things, but I bought the one album I was looking for, the first Clash album they had. This place was really good. There it is. I think it was 27 pounds right there. I think it's a re-release, not the original, obviously, but man, that's cool. It was just right walking on that staircase, standing on the staircase. Obviously, it looks like back when they took the photo, there was like some little wooden platforms that went over the top. Those have been removed since then, and Coyote Ugly was not there at that time. All right, who framed Roger Rabbit? That's the real question. From the Zemeckis classic film, Bob Hoskins, who was from this area. In fact, his final resting place is around here. Did such a wonderful job making everyone believe that the tunes were real. Just such a great movie. Filmed in LA, but also filmed here. In fact, the top 3 floors of this very building were used for all the animation from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Right inside here. Those top 3 floors in this warehouse. Used to be called the Forum. I don't know if it still is, but highly doubt that there's any sort of info inside about the fact that the animators utilized this building. There are a couple filming locations of Roger Rabbit in the greater London area, not on this street corner, but I wanted to check out the place where all the animation was done. Right here on Camden Street. Oh yeah, look at that. Centro Forum is still called the Forum. Here's an artistic rendering that one of the animators drew of the building itself. And you can see there's a bunch of bunny rabbits down here alluding to Roger Rabbit riding the bicycles. Not specifically Roger, but they're doing the little nods to Roger. And also, it looks like some chimney sweeps. Maybe they're giving a little, whoa, it's windy. They're giving a little nod to Mary Poppins and Bert. You got Dumbo over here giving the Disney. Oh, take a look at this. So you have the top little, looks like almost like a chimney right there. And then you have Mickey parachuting in. Just all kind of little Easter eggs when it comes to the Disney Corporation. And there is the building itself. So cool. And there's another thing, shows the address. The address is 74 to 80 Camden Street in London. There's the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This is back when they were doing the animation here. 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor. Woo! Rusty, let me turn around. And it's showing the specifics of what was on each floor. 5th floor was production, animation director, animation assistants, viewing theater. So we're probably doing all the dailies and everything that they had to match up the actors with the animation. Camera, editing, Xerox on the 4th floor. Also, ink and paint department was on the 4th floor. 3rd floor was the special effects animation. And then the 3rd floor, if you went to the 3rd floor, you would be greeted by the receptionist for Walt Disney Corporation, management and accountings, and the mat and roto department. In-betweeners. I got to backtrack a tad. Backtrack probably another quarter of a mile or half mile, give or take a little bit. Let's say a half mile, 0.4 miles. Back over to the Camden section. Since I now have the vinyl, I figure I should probably match up exactly, not just with the photo, but I should take the Clash album and just match it up with the staircase now that I have the album. So I did it with Abbey Road the other day, and it's probably going to be not only the Clash album, but I got one other album before the end of the night, I want to match up exactly. So I think it's like kind of a thing now that I'm doing. So buying albums in the spots where either the covers were, or where the band was from, or in the general vicinity of said band and said album. All right, gonna hit the Camden town station now. Head over, a little commute on the tube. Assuming that one of these is open. These are all closed. Go around the corner. Take a look at this. There's a music walk of fame here as well. The Who have a little icon. So does the founding stone. Oh, this is the founding stone for the walk itself. Not to be confused with the Rolling Stones. And it stretches all the way up that direction. We're going to take this tube over to Euston, E-U-S-T-O-N, and get off, connect with one that's going to take us over to another location, from another famous album that I purchased at a different record store in Camden. Ooh, it feels good in here. It's cold outside, but it's warm down here in the tube. And from this one, just 2 stops over to Oxford Circus. Back up out of the underground at ground level. About a third of a mile now from the next spot. So over in this area of town, down a little, I guess you call it alleyway, right off the cusp of this, it's going to be where David Bowie created his little alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. There it is, the other side, but I was looking in the wrong direction. In fact, there is a little placard right there that says Ziggy Stardust right on the side. That is the door right there. Marks the spot. This marks the location of the cover photograph of the iconic David Bowie album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, 1972. Now, it's interesting standing here. This is definitely the spot. One thing, there's definitely a few things you can match up. I was a little confused by which door it was. I was thinking it was the door to the left of where the plaque that says Ziggy Stardust is, that he was standing over underneath the 21 sign, but in fact it was the door to the right of where the Ziggy Stardust sign is. Some people who live or work in the building upstairs came out of the door. They saw me holding the album. They said, "Oh, it's this door," and then I realized that the same section where the light was is still the same, based on the light and the indentation of the bricks and all that, where the signage have been replaced and changed. But basically, he was standing right underneath where the Ziggy Stardust sign is. David Bowie would have been right there with his leg kind of perched up against the brickwork and all that. That would basically be what it is. Also, the windows down at the end of the alley look exactly the same, except the top portion of that roof and that building has been updated and modified. But other than that, it looks pretty much the same as it did, just with a new paint job and new changes to the roof and all that. But it's the same exact spot. So right where the plaque is directly above where David Bowie's head would have been, where he was standing with his kind of leg perched up as Ziggy Stardust, his alter ego. Just to clarify, so I thought David Bowie was standing right there next to this door. In fact, he was standing right here, and the camera angle is here. Looks like the same sort of area where the light fixture was and the little indentations in the brick. These signs were similar, but they have been changed. The number 23 was not there. And basically, he was standing right about here with those windows in the background, more or less. The back of the album cover, he's in a telephone box. Probably not this telephone box, but I would imagine this is an homage to David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust right here. I'm just guessing here at the end of the other direction of the alley. All right, moving on. Got another spot to see. We're going to take the red line over to White City. I think it's going to be a busy time to ride the underground. All right, total of 8 stops on the tube. Mind the gap. Definitely a little different vibe over here, a little farther away from actual city. Has some regular non-double-decker buses out here. This used to be the BBC, you said?
Yeah, BBC Television Centre. Now it's just
Now just television center. You dropped the BBC?
I think they sold it, but I'm not sure.
In fact, there are double-deckers. In fact, the double-decker station here looks to be the Acme buildings from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Or Judge Doom's in there working on his dip. I think this is the back of the building. See if I can go around the front and match anything up. That is wild. They're huge. All right, now it's making sense. That's it right there. That is the Acme Studios from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In fact, this is the angle where I believe the officers pull in and they're looking at, they go inside the door. Toontown, there's a spot, I believe it's Valiant, pulls up right there, looks that way, and he sees over the wall is Toontown. And he goes, I've never been there. I've been to this close to Toontown in a long time. Look at that. I don't know if they filmed the interiors inside there. They definitely filmed the exteriors. The Acme building. There it is. Still has the little gap there. The second building is extended out a little more than the front one is. Awesome. It's right here where Eddie Valiant pulls up, looks over at Toontown. Yosemite Sam, his hiney is on fire, flies over, lands right here. Great horny toes, my biscuits are burning. Right here on this very corner. The Upside Down House. Right across from the Acme factory from Roger Rabbit. Hey, you sure can. Where they removed the BBC. See where the indentation is. It's 3 letters. The Royal Seal of Approval, 1961. Her Majesty the Queen visited Television Center on 25th anniversary of BBC. The largest, best equipped, and most carefully planned factory of its kind in the world. Alright, evidently BBC does still have part of it. You were just mentioning this show earlier, Baby Reindeer. We went to that pub. Alright. Back to the tube. Alright, now I'm going to walk from here about a half mile down to Piccadilly. Right, made it back over towards the Piccadilly Square area. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over. Last couple days, it's been raining. So this applied. Bonus footage. Bonus footage.